Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Canadian Edition here. Today we are playing on the map Advance to the Rhine on a domination realistic battle. And we're playing in the IS-6. The IS was named after Joseph Stalin. So I guess you could call it the Joseph Stalin 6. But we'll just call it the IS-6. Nicknames for this thing, well, the War Thunder community has kind of already given this thing a nickname, so it's known as the Bias 6. Because apparently Russian bias is pretty big on this tank. I would have to agree. Personally, I don't think this game is biased towards the Russians. I know that's going to cause a lot of controversy saying that, but I think every nation in this game has good tanks and bad tanks. There's tanks in each nation at various battle ratings that dominate. It's not always Russia. It's not always one nation. So without going too deep into that nonsense, that's how I think. We're coming around a corner here. You see some shit going on. So we're going to try and engage tanks. And there's our first kill. Beautiful shot. So this gun does have a bit of a reload. With my crew, it's 18.6 seconds. And I don't have the best crew out there. So I'm sure you could get it down more than that. But for me, it's 18.6 seconds on this 122mm D30T cannon. So what should you know about the IS-6? Well, I got it on sale. It cost me $30 Canadian dollars on the PS4 in the PS4 store. Regularly, this tank is, I think, $50. So unless it's on sale, that's quite a hefty price. The package on the PS4 store comes with Golden Eagles and premium time as well. I think you get 1,000 Golden Eagles and some premium time. But yeah, this tank has, on the hull, it has 120mm of armor. And also it has 100 on the sides. So it's got 120 on the front, 100 on the sides, and 60 on the rear. And the turret armor is 150 on the front, 150 on the sides, and 100 on the rear. And it's very well sloped. The hull is very well sloped. The turret is a sleek design. As you can see, it makes it like when you're poking over ridge lines, you don't have a big fat head sticking out. You know what I mean? It's sleek. And look at the reverse speed of this tank. This thing can get out of trouble in no time. So you also get with this baby, you get a 12.7mm Dishik machine gun, DSHK, or the Dishik, as I like to call it. That's the one on the top there. And then there's another one, a 7.62 machine gun in the inside the cannon. So this thing only has 3 degrees of gun depression, which is pretty awful, but it's pretty low to the ground, so it's not too bad, but definitely not a ridgeline warrior. One nice thing about the 122mm gun on this thing is any tank it goes through pretty much dies in one hit, or is so fucked up that it can't fight back. So this thing, even though it's got a long reloading rate of like 19 seconds, it's still pretty powerful. We're looking at a 700 horsepower engine on this puppy. It's a 51-ton tank. So the max speed's 44 kilometers an hour, and it will get there. This thing is mobile, as you can see in the video here. Some other things to note: we got a crew of 4. The driver's right in the middle of the front hull. Everyone else is in the turret. The ammo is kind of thrown everywhere, all over the back of the turret and the hull, so it's kind of a mess there. It's also got a very large engine and transmission, both in the rear of the tank, so be careful with that. Some other things to note about this tank: if you want to keep the turret empty, you can load 13 shells in it. That's what I play it with. I play with 13 shells loaded. It can hold up to 30. but the more shells you load in a tank, the more risk of being ammo racked. So I only load 13 shells, and that'll keep your turret empty if you load the 13. Alright, a little bit of history about this tank. The Russians, when they found out the Germans had the Tiger II, they wanted to build a new tank because the Tiger II could penetrate the front of the Russians' best tank at the time, which was the IS-2. So they started work on an IS-3. That was the first one, and then they started building the IS-6, and the IS-4 was also being researched around this time. This is around 1945. As you can see here, we got some hits on that plane with our machine guns, and we actually set it on fire. So I think that plane's going to go down. Yeah, we actually just got a kill on a plane with the IS-6. Beautiful. So yeah, what I was saying there is the Russians found the Tiger II could destroy their IS-2, which was their current strongest tank, with a shot right through the hull. So they weren't happy with that. So they built the IS-3, but then the IS-3 had some problems when it was first initially thrown in. It had cracks in the hull because it was welded with a pike nose. When it would travel or fire the gun, the vibrations would actually cause cracks in the hull. So they were developing other tanks as well, the IS-4 and the IS-6. When the IS-6 was tested, there was two versions. There was an electric transmission version, similar to the Ferdinand that the Germans developed, or the Porsche Tiger, and there was a regular transmission, like a gas or diesel transmission version. Both versions actually failed in trials. The Russians were not pleased with the IS-6, and the IS-4 was tested around the same time and performed a lot better. So the IS-6 was effectively cancelled at that point, and there was only ever two prototypes. So in real life, this tank was a failure, but it's one hell of a failure if you ask me, because in this game, this tank kicks ass. So yeah, there's a little bit of history about that. The Russians did end up going with the IS-4, and then eventually made it modernized, which is the IS-4M that you see in game, and that was their tank of choice. But they were developing the IS-6 alongside the IS-4 around 1945, and the IS-3 was already, that had already gone through production. I think the prototypes were built in 1944, so the Russian tanks were beasts. Like, don't mess with the Russian bear. But yeah, do I recommend this tank? It's extremely noob friendly. I would highly recommend this tank. It's got great armor, great speed, ridiculous bouncing capability, an amazing gun. It earns a lot of silver lions. It earns a lot of research points. I would highly recommend this tank for someone who's trying to grind the ground forces in the Russian line. This is certainly one of my favorite tanks to play. I have the Object 120 as well, which is another high-tier Russian premium tank, and I actually prefer to play my IS-6. So that speaks dividends, if you ask me. Not too much going on. Which I'm learning every day. Bear with me. So we're back in the IS-6. The rest of that game was non-eventful. So we're on a different map here, and we were just driving from the spawn point to the A point here, in the middle of the map. So let's take another look at this beast. And when you think about this tank, and you have a look at it, you wonder why this wasn't a success. Well, let me tell you. The electric version was just too complicated. Bam, right into the back. We got engine, loader, transmission, radiator, and fuel tank. So that thing's toast. How is this thing a failure? Well, like the Germans, the Tiger, when the Germans were developing the Tiger, they trialed two versions, the Porsche version and the Henschel version. I can't remember the other. Porsche and... oh crap, I should know this. Porsche and someone else, but the point is, one of them had a regular diesel style or petrol style engine, and one of them had a really complicated electric diesel or whatever style. And And the more complicated one didn't pay off, and they actually didn't use it. So, the same thing with this IS-6. Anyway, we're really crappy at shooting here. Like, we're just pummeling this guy in the arse. But he's just laughing at us because we're not really doing anything to him, so that's kind of funny. Let's see if we can kill him here. Oh, enemy kill assist. Gotta love that. Gotta love when that happens. So we're gonna try and take A off the enemy here. But yeah, the Russians had some amazing tanks. That's my point I'm trying to make. This was one of their failed ones, and it was just because it was just too complicated. The design, the way it worked, the engine and the transmission were just too complicated. So we got some artillery fire coming in here. Oh my god, there's a pesky little AA tank shooting at us. And our weapon's broken. Fucking hell. And our track's broken. Oh, we got the loader. So we got an AA tank coming for us here. And we can't fire our main gun. But he can't get through our armor. So he's just trying to disable me. But this is where you're going to see the effectiveness of the IS-6's 12.7mm defensive armament. This guy's really pissing me off, as you can see. But with the 12.7mm on the top, we can actually effectively take shots at him. You see, as we took out his gunner there. So we don't. This is why the 12.7mm on the top of the IS-6 is amazing. It's not just amazing for dealing with aircraft, which you saw us shoot down earlier, but also pesky little shits like this who think they're fucking cool and mess with you. And all credit to this guy. I mean, he's taking on an IS-6. Boom! And my own teammate drops a bomb on him and me and kills us both. But all credit to that guy. He's taking on an IS-6 with the... As you can see, I type Y, dude, laugh out loud, because, like, I had that guy, and he just dropped a bomb on me. But whatever, you know, that's War Thunder. I just laugh when shit like that happens. I don't get angry, seriously. I don't get mad. Even when pesky little shits are coming at me like that. If you would have seen me while I was playing that game, I was actually just sitting there laughing my ass off, like, oh my god. But yeah, there's the IS-6's armor keeping me safe, and you get to see that 12.7mm gun, how it's not just useful for aircraft, but also pesky little shits in light tanks and SPAA and stuff like that. So don't underestimate the machine gun that this thing comes with. So we're in another game here, and this is one of the strategies I like to do with this IS-6. What I like to do is sit behind a building, like a rapist, and just wait and use the third-person camera to see what's going on. And this is a really dirty tactic, but I can't stop doing it. It's just really addicting. So I can see there's some shit going on in my third-person camera, but I'm not going to come out yet because I don't have a target. And I'm still nervous because I don't really know what's over on my left. So this is one of the tactics I would recommend in an IS-6. Getting behind a building and just showing them who's boss when they don't know what's going to come. So we can see a target over there, and I don't think he knows we're here. So we're going to pull out. And boom. Leopard 1, no match for an IS-6. 122mm, killed everyone in his tank. So we're reloading this big ass gun, and we're doing our dirty tactics again. And this is a really dirty way to play, but I mean, if they give you access to this, why not? If I can use my third-person camera to look around a corner of a building, then I'm going to use it. That's how I play my games. If I can do something, I'm going to do it. You know? It's up to the developers to decide what's fair and what's not fair. They're in control. If I see something I like, I do it. Let the developers sort it out. Don't worry about stuff like that. Don't stress yourself out. It's a video game. Just have fun. You see someone doing something that gets you killed, and you know, you think, whoa, I'm gonna try that. You know, don't be all upset like, oh my god, the game is broken. You just gotta laugh. Everything in life, you gotta laugh. You see someone, you know, at work pisses you off, just laugh. You can tell your wife about it later. Anyway, little rant for you there. We coming out. We've got a target. Get the gun on him. Shoot. And he's dead. All of his crew members were taken out there. The Panzer 4-5. So yeah, the IS-6. I highly recommend this tank. Once again, I got it on sale, so it was even more sweet. But yeah, this is a great way to grind the Russian ground forces line. I'm certainly enjoying it. Hope you guys enjoyed this gameplay. I'm still figuring out editing and other things, so these videos will get better as time goes on, so please bear with the channel if you're tuning in so far. I try to do a bit of research on every tank before I make a video. I also try to play the tank at least 20-30 games before I form an opinion. I am relatively new to War Thunder, as you've probably seen by my level. I'm only level 30, I'm 38 right now, looking at my screen. So, I'm by no means an expert, but I do try my best, and try to pay attention when I can. We're going to come out and see if we can get this guy here. Commander, Gunner, Loader. That's a shame, we didn't get everyone in the tank, but he's pretty much out of action. I think he's actually being engaged by a friendly. Yep, enemy kill assist. SU-122-54 took him out. And that looks like the end of this match. If you look at the ticker at the top. Eighth place. 2 ground targets killed, 1 assist. It's funny watching these videos back, you see your gold. It's like, damn, I wish I still had that much gold. Thanks for watching.